I talked to Jalen Hyatt today a little bit too. I just think that he's a guy that's been untapped in terms of what he knows he's capable of. And so it's just been a really good process. And there's many others, Wandale Robinson, he's like a running back. Every time he touches the ball, it's hard to tackle. His ability to make people miss, his catch, his ability to get away from guys, and his escapability. I've played with some guys like that before, and there's many others along the way. Obviously, the backs and what they're able to do. They're so young and talented, but and then the guys up front. It always starts with the guys up front and what they're capable of. And seeing a guy like Andrew Thomas in the weight room, doing squats and doing everything he was doing the other day, and just being around him a little bit. Guys like GVR, and just talking to different guys along the way. It's just been a really smooth process that's given me a lot of confidence. Obviously, this fan base, talking to Mr. Morrow himself and them, and just the whole staff, and it's been really special.
And maybe then, what did the Giants, explain to you about your role and what they're expecting from you here? And do you expect to be the starter, or you have to compete for that? Like, how do you view that?
Yeah, I expect to be the starter and come in here and be ready to rock and roll every day. I think to be able to lead. I think this team's really looking for somebody to lead them in every way in terms of the process. In the off season, during the season, our habits and our thought process, and how we create a great winning culture, and how do we continue to establish that, and to really build on the things that we do well and the things that we continue to need to do. And so I think the big part for me is just try to. This might be my 14th year to be able to lead an amazing group of men that really have big hopes and goals and dreams and desires, and we all share the same goal. And so I think that's the best part about it, is I get to be around a lot of extremely talented guys.
Art Stapleton.
Hey Russ, welcome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
I'm just curious in terms of your relationship with Brian Daboll. Had you had any interaction previously, and what were the last couple weeks like trying to see if you would fit into what he wants to do, and how have you guys meshed your personalities?
Yeah, I think Daboll is one of the most competitive guys. You get to see it, in terms of his play calling over the years. He's coached some amazing guys like Josh Allen, guys like Tua, guys like Jalen Hurts in college and stuff, and just some other places that he's been. There's been some familiar people that I know that he knows as well, and that he's close with. And so just we've been able to bond on that, and just the experience of loving the game. This guy's, I think he's won 5 Super Bowls, I believe it is, with, being at the Patriots. He's won a national championship. He's been around greatness. He knows what it looks like. He knows what it sounds like. This guy's been a coach of the year. It wasn't that long ago, a couple of years ago. And so, there's a standard that he knows, what that looks like, especially offensively, and how he sees the game. And I really love that part about him, and what he brings to the table. And, the rest of the staff as well. I got to spend some great time with guys like Kafka and Shea Tierney, who I've known for years, all the way back from when I was at NC State, and I was 18 years old. And just, but what I really like about Dave's is just his mentality, his attack mentality. We haven't been able to talk a whole bunch of ball yet, but I've been able to see a bunch, and over the years, and understand who he is and what he brings to the table. So I think that's the exciting part about what we can do, and all the guys we have around us.
Thank you.
Ryan Dunleavy.
Russell, thanks for doing this. Welcome to New York.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here.
2 things for you. First of all, you have your own Hall of Fame resume, and yet there were a lot of credible reports that the Giants, the Steelers, maybe some other teams were waiting for Aaron Rodgers' decision before they moved forward with you. Did that bother you to be treated like anybody's plan B when you have done what you have done in this league?
What I think about is that, first of all, Aaron Rodgers is a tremendous football player. He's done some amazing things in this league. I've been fortunate to be able to do some great things too. And really what I'm focused on is right now, and what we can do here. That's been my focus since I've signed, and everything else. And also too, along the way is finding a place that will continue to believe in you. Obviously, Pittsburgh was a special place for me. You know what? Pittsburgh brought me so much love, man. I have so many teammates that I'm super close with. Guys like TJ and Cam, guys like Miles Killebrew, guys I got to share the captain patch in a way with those guys every day. But there's so many others that go unnoticed. And those relationships and experiences man, I cherish that every day. I have some of my greatest memories being there with some great guys. People that go unsung, guys like DY that you guys may not know, but he's a guy who played in the league and has been helping the players every day and help me every day. Just many others and the coaches as well and the fan base. But coming here, obviously being in New York, it's an exciting place to play. It's a place that wants to win. It's a place that knows how to win and has won before. And so for me, it's bringing everything I know, all the experiences, all the touchdowns, all the wins, but also all the love and passion for the game to this locker room. And that's what I'm really excited for. And it's going to be a special, special thing. And we got to go work for it every day and go do it.
Would you have signed here last year when you visited Russ if they had given you a chance to start or told you were the starter?
I mean, listen, I think free agency, there's always 32 teams, it's like it's a process, and you can't sign with all 32. But, I'm excited about the one I signed with today. And so it's an exciting day.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Evan Barnes.
Russell, welcome to New York, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Likewise. Obviously, you have some history at MetLife. You won your Super Bowl here. So I'm curious, when you look at the chance to be able to play back at the stadium, just kind of like, do you think about like that memory kind of flood in your mind, or how much did that kind of like excite you about being part of this team?
Yeah, well, just playing in MetLife, I have some amazing memories here. Some of my most fond memories of this game that I pour my heart and soul into every day have happened right here in this stadium, right across the street in MetLife Stadium. So I'm excited to create some more memories with some amazing teammates and really for this fan base. And so really what it takes, though, is just one day at a time, being crazily obsessed with the process and the days and what we can do and just winning the day. And what happens is, great things happen with that. And so it's a collective effort. But I definitely, it was definitely when I pulled up to the stadium and pulled to the facility today. And when I pulled up last week, it makes you feel some type of way. It makes you get excited about the possibilities of what this team can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Rock.
Russell, I had two quick ones for you, if you don't mind. The first is obviously the Giants are a team that still could draft a quarterback next month. Is that something you discussed with them, and how would you handle that if it's a very high pick?
Listen, I think that every NFL team nowadays have 2 to 3 quarterbacks, usually 3 nowadays, and so obviously right now we have Tommy DeVito, we have Jameson, myself, and we're just excited to get to work. And so the great part about professional sports is constant change, there's constant movement and everything else. If we draft a quarterback, we'll make sure that he does everything he can to be ready to go and be prepared with his mentality. But for me, it's about the process of winning. I'm focused on winning, what I can do as the quarterback of the New York Giants to help us win and to do everything that we can to lead. And I'm excited, man. I've been gifted with so much in this game in terms of experiences and things I've gone through, all the great moments, some tough ones along the way, but also to being inside those white lines. That's my most favorite place to be. And so I'm excited to do that and to rock the New York Giants jersey.
The second question was you teased us a little bit about your conversations with Malik. You said you've been chatting with him a little bit. What were those like? What do you see from him? How can you bring out the best in him?
Yeah, he's an explosive athlete. Just his ability to make plays. I love Malik, man. Just watching him and his personality on the field, his demeanor. I watched this one clip. I was watching a bunch of plays of him, and he caught this one catch against the Commanders on a shallow cross in the 3rd down, and he cut back inside, got another extra 20 yards, got hit pretty good. He kind of laid the boom, but vice versa. And he got up right away and just was celebrating, excited about the 1st down and just move on to the next play. Just the competitor, the warrior that he is. There's a lot of guys like that. That same play, I noticed that Theo was blocking down the field and making a huge block. And those kind of things is what championship football looks like. And obviously, listen, he catches a screen against the Colts and takes it 80 yards, 70 yards. That's pretty special. There's only so many human beings in the world that can do that, and he's one of them.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Russ. Sorry, I think my camera is not on, so
That's all right. That's all right.
you don't get.
I'm used to the Zoom thing by now.
Yeah, just think of like a kind of like a Brad Pitt sort of figure there.
Got it. Heard that one before.
Yeah. Look, we all know your stats. We know the numbers, the pedigree, the Pro Bowls, the Super Bowl. The past 3 years, the stats have not been there. The wins have not been there. This is your 3rd team in 3 years. So What do you say to the Giants, and what do you say to yourself that that's not a player in decline? I have a lot left to give. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that first of all, you never feel like you do enough unless you win it all, and that's how I've always felt, and, I've had some amazing years and different things along the way. And so anytime you don't win it all as a competitor, as a warrior, you want to be able to win it all and say you did it that year. And so, my focus is doing it this year and trying to find a way to do it with these guys. And that's what I'm really excited about. And so for me personally, I'm excited to get to work and just focus on that part of it. I know that when you put the hard work in, great things happen. And I'm excited about the great things that are going to happen here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mike Garafolo.
Russ, welcome to Jersey.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. How you been?
Those of us here on the west side of the Hudson gotta make sure. But listen, having said that, it is the New York market that you've entered, and you guys as a family have a lot of interest outside of football. So how much was knowing that you're going to be playing in this market a big part of you signing here?
It wasn't really a factor, really, in terms of outside of it. I think more importantly, I just love football, and it's a place that I think, with Coach Dayball and what he's been able to do and the play caller that he is and the aggressive nature that he has throughout the game in all different ways. I was excited about that. I was watching the playmakers and all the things that they're very capable of and what they've done so far, and the youth there and the talent across the board. This defense and how they fly around, and this defense was one of the top leading sack defenses in the NFL for a while. And so I have a lot of respect for this organization. Just walking in this building down this hallway, Mike, and just being here. And, I got here and this, Ed Triggs, and this is one of the first guys I sat with. And, first day I got here on my visit, and sitting here and having breakfast with the guys and different people here, and meeting the strength staff and training staff and everybody along the way, the equipment staff. It's a special place, but a lot of the memories I think has brought me here, in a great way too, as well as the players and the coaching staff. But I think a lot of the memories, because I've walked this hallway when we won the Super Bowl. I remember being in the quarterback room, and it was the 2 nights before, and my old quarterback coach, Coach Carl Smith, people call him Tater. He said, "Man, it's just ball, baby. Just be you 3." And so I just remember that, and being in that room, and some of the greats, obviously Eli Manning being here in that same room years before, and just a lot of those things. And just there's been a lot of great players on this field, and just it's a special place. I think obviously for our family, we're excited to be here just because it's the New York Giants. It's a great organization, and they surround you with so much love and care, and rooting for you to be your best. And so that's what I'm excited about, and just to be able to talk to Mr. Marr himself and just have a great conversation with him when I was here on my visit, and then yesterday on the phone. When I was about to sign and everything else was really exciting. So I'm excited about this opportunity to play football.
Thanks, man. See you soon.
Thank you.
Patty Trina.
Hey, Russ, how are you?
Hey, dear, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Welcome to the New Jersey market.
Thank you.
Russ, you mentioned earlier about your Super Bowl, experience and whatnot. Can you just talk a little bit about bringing that winning mentality to the locker room? I know every guy has a different approach to it. What can you bring to the locker room to get that winning mentality back?
I think that the first part of it is our habits and our approach every day. Our study habits. So how we go to work every day, how we push each other every day on and off the field. I think winning is a process. Winning is also a habit, and so how we go about that. What are our habits like daily, and our approach, our mentality, how we communicate with one another. It's funny. My old mental coach Trevor Moad, who passed away of cancer, is one of my closest people I've ever known, and he used to always say simple wins. Sometimes it's the little things that you do well. If I use basketball terms. I get to go to the Knicks game tonight. I'm excited to go watch them play, but at the end of the day, you got to make your free throws and layups. And I think the same thing in football. We got to hit the ones that are open. We got to hit the ones. We got to make the big plays. We got to also, do all the fundamentals really well, offensively, defensively, special teams, all the things that we know. And I think that these guys in this locker room, they're really excited about the opportunity of what we can bring to the table. I've been talking to a bunch of guys, all the old linemen, some of the tight ends, and running backs and receivers, and just different guys. And so we're excited about the opportunity of that. I got to talk to Brian Burns before I kept coming here, and just his love for the game and what a great player he is. And so just it's a great opportunity. And so, but with opportunity, we got to go seize it. We got to go capitalize on it. We got to work for it every day. And there's no magic pill to that. You got to do the work. You got to love the hard work and the attention to detail that it takes.
Then just one more quick one, if I may. Have you had a conversation with Coach Dable about maybe taking his offensive system, maybe tweaking it a little bit more to the things that you do well, or has that not taken place yet?
Yeah, we haven't gotten into those details yet. It's really just making sure that everything works out, and me getting here at first, and then now we get to work in a couple weeks, a few weeks from now, and we're excited about that. I know just being with the guys is going to be a lot of fun. Just getting to work. I know a lot of us want to get throwing already, and I already talked to Malik a little bit about that, Theo, and some of the receivers, Darius, and so some of the other guys too as well, Wandell, and just Trace, and a lot of guys want to get together and start working. I'm excited about doing that right away, and start spinning the football around with those guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take 4 more. Connor Hughes.
Hey, what's up, Russ, man? How you doing?
What's up, Connor? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So early in your career, you were part of a Seahawks team that had signed a veteran that was expected to start, and then you were kind of the rookie that came in and took that job for himself. So if the Giants do go out here and whether it's third overall or at some point later on in the first round, second round, and draft a quarterback, how will you approach mentoring a guy who could potentially end up replacing you?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that your first thing is you always handle yourself first. You always get yourself prepared at the highest level. You control what you can control, and part of that is doing everything I can to be my best every day. And then from there, from leading in that sense, everybody else grows with you from that. They learn from you. They see it. They see how you work. They see your practice habits. They see your mental habits and how you go about it. Your approach every day. And so, I'm excited about the opportunity to continue to lead not just the quarterback room, but really the locker room in every way, and in my approach, and just what that looks like. So I'm excited about the opportunity to obviously lace up the cleats and get after it and be on the field and help our football team win.
Pat Leonard.
Maybe on mute, my friend. I don't know.
We'll go to Jory Epstein next.
Hey, Russ, you mentioned a couple specific plays that you watched from Malik as well as your other new teammates. You only just signed your deal, but how much have you watched of your team? Why have you already watched some? And I guess what's that process of getting up to speed? I know you're getting used to going from one team to the next for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a film rat, so I've watched a lot. I've watched pretty much every catch of each guy. I've watched a lot of highlights of them. Just really, you get engulfed in it because it's everything. If you really want to win, it's got to be your lifestyle. It's got to be every morsel of your body and your being has got to think about winning and what that looks like. And you're always. I always say that when you're playing quarterback, you're finding the best in each guy every day. And certain guys are great at certain things. Certain guys don't even know that they could be great at that yet. And certain guys, they may make a flash play. Maybe they made it once or twice, but they just haven't had that opportunity to do it again. And so all that kind of goes into playing football in the game. And I always say KYP, know your personnel, and just what guys are great at. And we got a lot of guys that are great at a lot of things. We have a team that can really, really run. And we want to be able to use that speed in every way. Obviously, guys like Malik and Wandell, what they can do. Guys like Theo. Chris Manhertz is I'm not sure if he's going to be running deep post routes or anything, but he's a physical being I've played with. He's been in the league. His professionalism, what he can do. The backs that we have, I think these guys are hard to tackle. Seeing a lot of guys running the football and making people miss and catching the ball in the backfield too. So it really, I think the fun part that me and Dayball get to experience, and the rest of the staff and Kafka and Shea and everybody else putting this thing together, is really, how do we make our players be at their best every play, every day? And that's part of what I get to do and what I'm excited about doing, and the process of that, and just loving the process of it. So a big part of that is understanding what the film looks like and spending all my time watching that. So I've watched I think everything you could imagine so far. of these guys. And the good part is they're young. I've gotten to play with some really great young talent over the years that are still learning and growing, and you bring them with you. You take them there, you take them where they can go, and you paint a picture for them. And I'm excited about doing that.
Leonard.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry about that earlier.
Yeah, no worries.
Would you be, I know you're saying you want to be on the field, you want to play, you want to help the team win. When a team drafts a quarterback number 3 overall, usually the guy plays pretty early. I'm just curious, from your standpoint, would you be willing to mentor a guy that might end up taking your starting job early in the season? Or have you received any assurances from the team that won't happen, that this is a year for you to be the starter?
Yeah, first of all, obviously I'm expecting to come in there and be a starter and earning that every day because your mentality, your approach. I just believe that, when you play this position, my goal every day, stepping on the field, is help our football team win and ultimately to be the best in the world and be one of the best that can do it. And I think that's my mentality, understanding that. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to lead everybody. It's not just one room, one guy, one thing. It's the whole organization. I think that's the thing that you realize, being a quarterback in the National Football League, man, you got the best freaking job in the world, or one of 32. And the reality is you're like a CEO in a way of an organization, a corporation. It's the whole process of it all. And so you're not just leading one person, you're leading a whole entire fan base too. And so I'm excited about that and the approach of that every day. And so I'm excited. I know what my talents are. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm excited to put those, in between the white lines.
Last one, Charlotte Carroll.
Hey, Russ, welcome to New York.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, you're joining a team that went 3-14 last year. I guess, why do you believe in this group, and where do you think they're headed for you to join them, kind of at the crux, and especially when the offense hasn't changed too much beyond the quarterback position?
Yeah, I think first of all, I watch the talent and the guys that make plays. I think first of all, it's a huge thing. I think second of all is, I think Dave Ball's a tremendous football coach. It's funny how people forget sometimes how good a coach a person is over some tough times. And I think the guy just won coach of the year just not too long ago. I think that sometimes I love the underdog mentality, too as well. I think that's kind of been my approach every day of my life. I don't know, maybe being 5'11", I don't know what it is, but a lot of people tell you can't do something. And I love challenges. I love adversity. I love all that stuff. And and I think the best part is trying to bring us out into the other side of winning and what that looks like. And so this is a good football team that I got to play last year. In a great battle, and just a lot of great football players on the field. And so, like I said, we're not focused on the end goal right now. We're focused on the process, and I'm just enjoying today, the opportunity of today to be a New York Giant. But we'll get to work with these guys, and we'll have a lot of fun, and really, really challenge every guy every day to be our best, and most importantly, starting with myself. And just wanting to be that for myself every day and for this team.
If I could follow up really quickly, when you guys played them last season, I guess what stood out from you on the other side, being on the other team?
Well, you got Dexter Lawrence chasing after you, sexy Dexter, I guess. It's never a good thing. So now I'm glad he's chasing after the other quarterbacks. Burns and what he's able to do. The linebackers, how they fly around. The secondary. I think we have some really great additions too, and just a lot of. I think Joe's done a good job of bringing a guy like Holland in who makes tremendous plays all over the field, and just so there's a lot of talented guys, and so I'm just excited about the youth. I think about Tate Banks and how great of a young player he is, and just different guys that you have along this team that are just about to have their breakout years, in my opinion. So I'm excited to be a part of all that.